It's not. It shouldn't go live yet. I'm just gonna take a look and see how it's looking.
Okay.
Normally, these stream companies, they. Okay, cool. All right, am I getting a feed here? Okay. We're gonna transition that. Okay. Oh, it looks great.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right, I guess we're live here.
Awesome.
All right. So what's going on, everybody? It's Pacific Sports Talk Radio here. I'm here with Dean DeCosio. Dean, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. This is Brady with over here. So we're just here to talk about, West Coast sports. Pat McAfee talks a lot about Midwest. So I kind of get sick of that content sometimes. So I just felt like, we're going to talk about the West Coast, kind of, mostly West Coast.
Exactly.
Baseball, basketball, football, hockey.
All right, so let's just dive into the first topic here. We got some interesting matchups today with the Trailblazers taking on the what was it? I know the Warriors are playing the Pistons, and the Trailblazers are taking on the Bulls. So why don't we just dive into these matchups here, and then we got Lakers Celtics coming on after that.
Ooh, that game's gonna be great. So
Kings and Heat too. Let's go with Warriors Pistons first. Dean, what do you feel on that game? What are some of the keys to that matchup?
Well, the Warriors look like shit right now. They're incredibly inconsistent. I don't love what's been going on with the Kelly Oubre fit. His three-point shooting has gone up a little bit. I mean, granted, it was like 15% at one point when he had already shot like 75 shots. They basically go with him. So if he makes his reads and he's able to defend, properly, he's not a great off-the-ball defender. He's great at getting steals. I think the Warriors play more fluid when he's playing well. So, and he doesn't settle for shitty mid-range shots because that's not his game.
No, exactly. Essentially, when Oubre plays well for the Warriors, it's usually almost going to be a win, right? When he gets 17 points, and then when he has these games where he goes like, 1 of 10 from the field, and he's got 3 turnovers, he's usually, like, if you look at the game, you kind of almost just look at his stats, and that's usually the differential between how many points they're up against or how many points they're down. I mean, honestly.
Truth. No, it's like infuriating watching him because also when he makes like a bad read or something, he'll try and make it up and be too aggressive and like foul or something, And then, man, how many games this year has he fucking gone out in the first or second quarter because he's got picked up 3 quick fouls, and he actually plays better with the second unit. Like, he's not really great with the Warriors' first unit, which is rough. It's rough watching him out there sometimes. He tries to do too much. He overthinks it. I feel like I've been reading it some places. I kind of see it. It almost feels like, it is, 18 games into the season, but the Warriors' offense almost seems like too complicated for him. Like, they're third in pace right now. You got Steph and Draymond out there, but then when those two are off the floor and it's just one of them or none of them, like, Kelly Oubre's, it's rough watching him out there with the ball, like ball handling. Like, he's a better ball guy.
His movement doesn't really work well when you're watching like the West Coast, or not the West Coast, the Warriors offense, the way it's run, the way the ball movement works. It kind of just stops, and then it just doesn't look right.
It's stagnant. They all just stop moving. It's like watching the Rockets, but they have like no good offensive players besides Steph. It's right.
Well, hey, speaking of so not the Rockets. Let's move on to the next matchup here. We'll talk Kings Heat. The Heat are expected to cover 6.5 point spread. They got Jimmy Butler coming back. The Kings are looking all right. De'Aaron Fox has been looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I love Halliburton. I thought he was such a value pick at where I thought the Warriors were going to draft him almost. They were going to trade back. He's been, man, have you seen granted, the stadiums aren't filled, right? But he shoots the three ball with such confidence. It's insane. Like for a freaking rookie out there, he's a great defender. I love Halliburton. They when they were without him for 3 games, I think a week and a half ago or something, they lost I think almost all of those games. The Kings are a lot better when he's on the floor. So
yeah, Halliburton's not bad. He's they get him. What round did they get him in? The first?
Oh yeah, he was top 10.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see that.
I don't know how Buddy Hield's panning out. I know he's been playing better recently, but he's a little too streaky.
What's his 3-point percentage at? He wasn't good the first 2 weeks. I haven't been following him as much.
I'm getting stats from NBA.com here. So this season, 2021, his 3-point percentage is at 40%. So not bad.
Oh man, that's so shocking. But he's better than that, though. He was. I think last year he was at 42. I love Buddy Hield. Man, the Kings, they're not meshing perfectly right now, but they have a lot of solid players.
No, they have a ton of talent.
They got
on the paper. Hey, let me go in the other room and tell these clowns to quiet down because I don't know if you can hear them, but they're kind of loud.
No.
Hey babe, I'm doing a podcast right now.
He lives with a lot of people, so sometimes this happens.
No, that was Danny talking to Jackie. They're just super loud. They're my girlfriend and her cousin. Very loud people. Okay. All right. So
we were talking about the Kings.
Kings got a lot of talent on paper. They got a lot of young talent. Even with Harrison Barnes in there, I don't even think that's necessarily a bad thing.
At this point, so after the Warriors went on that run, I thought he was totally overpaid, right? Because I think for the numbers, what was he, the number 7 overall pick? I don't think he lived up to expectations. He's a very solid starter, right?
Yeah.
But back then, their contracts have gone up. What did he get? 4 years, $80 million or something? When he signed with the Kings originally, I don't exactly remember, but I kind of like him in a veteran role.
4 years, 85.
85, okay. I think I've watched him out there, and he's coaching up Halliburton and other guys. I like Harrison Barnes out there. He's got a good attitude. He isn't sulking, that the Kings haven't been good. I think the Kings are really up and coming. I think besides the Timberwolves, I think every team in the West is solid.
I know.
The Timberwolves are crap. But all the other teams, I would love to be a Kings fan right now. A lot of up and coming good players.
And once these stadiums start opening up, I just expect the Kings tickets to be probably the most affordable out of the 4 California teams. Probably get to go to some games.
Sacktown, man. Yeah.
I'm picking up a tiny bit of echo on your end. Just let me know. I'll let you know if it's a problem. Right now. Okay, so we got Trailblazers and Bulls. Interesting matchup there. Damian Lillard's kind of be running the ship solo. His 2 stars are out. McCollum's out. Nurkic is out. And then he's taking on Levine and the Bulls.
Did you say Nurkic is out?
Yeah, both of those guys are out.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, do you have headphones, by the way? Because I'm hearing my voice come back. I don't know if they can hear it on stream. We don't have any viewers at this point in time, so it's not a huge deal.
I can hear it. No, my Mac speaker is terrible. Headphones. I have gaming headphones. I don't really want to wear those.
God.
I don't want to go full Call of Duty.
All right, try turning down your speaker then. Maybe it's.
Do you hear it now?
Hello? No, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just gonna turn you down to a Jackie's back there.
Oh, I didn't know see me. I'm trying to sneak in.
All right, this is the first stream here, so it's pretty laid back. In the future, though, we would appreciate if noise around the house was kept at a minimum, and interruptions
Always appreciative.
on a zero count. No, you're all good.
Hi, Dean.
We're live right now. You should tune in.
Oh, nice. Where?
We're on YouTube. Go to Pacific Sports Radio.
Okay, cool.
Well, we're getting better at it as we go along here.
This
All right.
is the maiden voyage. You know, there's a lot of some people are falling off the ship, man. You know, there's a lot of we're in a hurricane right now with all of this action.
It's all a
at
learning
Brady's
process.
house right now, but it's all right. We'll get through it.
It's all a learning process here, and apparently it needs to be reciprocated throughout my household.
Yeah.
Jackie, we get thousands of viewers on here. They're gonna be giving us some weird chats. I don't know if we want that. People are kind of strange on the internet.
Who is that person? Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, so the Portland Trailblazers. So Nurkic is out and McCollum's out. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah.
Lillard's gonna have to do a lot of dirty work there.
Yeah, he is. But he's been, isn't he, what is he, second in the league in points?
Yeah.
Is he
I think
averaging
he's-
30 a game?
Well, yeah,
He's close
especially
to
with
it.
those guys out, I think he's definitely above 30 a game.
Yeah. Definitely. You know who's been playing great? Also, Zach LaVine, man.
Oh,
Zach
beast.
LaVine's been tearing it up. Have you seen him? He's been going.
And you love to see that too, right after that kind of
You know,
injury.
not to constantly roast Minnesota, but doesn't it seem like every time one of their star players leaves, he gets good? Doesn't it, like?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of.
Okay, let's do this. Andrew Wiggins. He's top 5 in isolation defense right now. Just
I'm
one-on-one.
not going to
He's
give
top
them
5
Kevin
right
Love
now.
on that though. Although he did win a
He's
championship.
okay, Kevin Love, but they weren't winning. I mean, Kevin Love. Okay, Kevin Love is an outlier. Okay,
Kevin
but like
Garnett.
to be like a better all-around player. Like we saw more of Kevin Love's passing on the Cavaliers, but I was going just the current ones. So Wiggins has gotten better. Zach LaVine looks a lot better, and they're on the Bulls. The Bulls aren't even really that great. Like to be honest, like
No, the Bulls are definitely on the low end.
that Minnesota team had a lot more talent than the current Bulls team.
Well, think about it. They had Jimmy Butler on that team. They were stacked. How do you not get into the playoffs with that team? Did they get into the playoffs?
No, or I don't think so. Or maybe first round out. I know Wiggins went to the playoffs once.
Wiggins made it to the playoffs once. All right, I wasn't aware of this. Maybe earlier on.
I think I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like the West was really, really talented. It still is not as much as it was, though. I think that I don't even think they made it. They were like a 10 or 9 seed.
I don't know. I think the West is deeper now than it was then.
You think so? I mean, you can make that argument.
I mean, okay. The top 5, 6 teams were a lot better, you know? But there was like 4 shitty teams at the bottom instead of just Minnesota right now. Like think about that.
I don't know. I guess maybe when I'm talking about the days when Portland Trailblazers were like an 8 seed and they were still decent.
So Young Dame, like the who was on that team? I know who you're talking about.
They were still a decent team.
Was Etwan Moore on that team?
I think the West was stronger than now, right? I mean, actually, it's too early to really tell.
I'm just saying. There's so. I mean, I think it could also be that no one's playing great basketball right now because of, you know, it's just been slammed back-to-back seasons, and the no training camp. You know, LeBron just wants his second ring. You know,
We're hoping. We'll see how that goes. We're not gonna shit on Laker Nation yet.
man, you know, the Clippers look like they have freaking chemistry now. Have you been looking at that?
Well, you know, they were playing games without their 2 stars, and then all of a sudden you get Paul George and Kawhi Leonard back, and you start looking like a contender again.
They're both. I mean, obviously, they're both shooting over 40% from 3. PG's, I think, at 42, and Kawhi's at 40.
But to me, and I think to most people, it's championship or bust, right?
Oh, for the Clippers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they're God. I think after that, collapse last year, that just getting to the finals is not going to, do it for them.
No.
It's not going to do it for them. Their fans, it's going to be like, they're going to fracture. Like, I have no doubt.
It's gonna leave an imprint on Paul George's legacy for sure. I think Kawhi Leonard's done enough, right, with Toronto and obviously with the Spurs.
Yeah.
But Paul George will forever, he had a chance at the early part of his career to crack his way into the upper echelon of the legends.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna be. I'm kind of wishing for a Lakers Nets finals, to be honest with you. I think it's just so interesting because, as a lot of people have alluded to, that the Nets have like a ton of firepower, obviously, but they are very small.
If I'm a betting man, I'm putting all my money on Nets versus Lakers because that's just what the finals are going to be.
Okay. Question though. So do you think? So as I was saying, they're going to be really small. Don't you think AD and LeBron are just going to pick them apart? They're too freaking big.
Well, DeAndre Jordan's not the same guy that he was 10 years ago.
DeAndre Jordan is crap. I don't want to hear this crap. Losing Jared Allen, I know you had to do that trade. By the way, I love Houston right now. Houston looks awesome. I'd be so happy to be a Rockets fan. Oladipo, John Wall, Boogie. Oh, man, they look great. But anyways, Jared Allen went to Cleveland. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's huge for Cleveland. Jared Allen's like a great young big. I think he's only 23 or 24.
Oh, Jared Allen went to Cleveland. Yeah. He looked great.
Yeah.
He looked great.
It was a 3-team trade. But that was a huge loss. Like, DeAndre can't be the only big out there.
How many centers does Cleveland have, though?
These aren't the Lob City days.
No, they're not.
He's a 41-inch vertical, and he's yamming on motherfuckers, right? Like, this is it.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan is a far cry from what he was, but he's still, competent. He can block shots here and there. He's just not going to be the same guy.
I agree with that. I think he's a smarter player. I just think I see him sometimes like a statue on defense. Like, he just can't move laterally.
Especially with the way the league's going, even big centers like Nikola Jokic, they can get outside. DeAndre Jordan is the epitome of what a center was. He's not a modern center.
He's a dying breed.
He's not Anthony Davis. He's not Nikola Jokic.
Well, there is value at what he is, but I don't think there will ever be a star, like a big like that. Like
a Drummond.
All the bigs now are going to skilled, right? They're all skilled. Jokic, DeAndre Ayton has a really good post. The post is coming back a little bit. There's a little revitalization. Shaq has been saying that, and I see it because people have gone so far out with the three that the post is just open, right? So, but I feel like it's obviously a lot less brute strength, and they're very skilled down there on the block. Like Shaq, everyone talks about like the force that Shaq was, but Shaq had a lot of like game down there. Like, he didn't need to manhandle you. He had some skill.
I know, he's a good combination of the two, right?
But back then, yeah, exactly. But back then, a lot of the other guys that like were Shaq faced, like I think their game was more about like brute skill, Like,
and I think that's how we've seen the game transform, even with the outside shooters. The game is completely transformed into a skill league.
Yeah, definitely. But I do think it will go. The 3-point pulled it so far out that I do think there's going to be a little resurgence of big men. I do. I think. It needs to balance. There was an overcorrection.
We're talking stocks here, or are we talking NBA?
No.
Because I'm getting my GME.
Obviously.
AMC. Shout them out.
I know. You got to be shouting that out. You got to be careful, man. The man's trying to take you down.
Hey, so moving quickly here, the last matchup that we got going West Coast, and sorry about the Trailblazer matchup. We didn't go too far into it. We kind of dove in and out. The game's already on, so let's go Lakers-Celtics, which is the biggest match of the night. It's going to be nationally broadcast.
So Lakers-Celtics, God, man, I love. So you know the boy Jaylen Brown went to Berkeley, right?
Oh yeah, man. I was thinking about taking a prop bet on him.
Jaylen Brown, God, man, so he's granted Tatum's the guy, right?
Yeah.
But I think out of the entire NBA, they're like Kawhi and PG maybe a little bit, but they're very 1A and 1B. Like Tatum and Jaylen Brown are very like 1A, 1B. Like Jaylen Brown, I think, is a way better defender than Tatum. Tatum's a great defender, don't get me wrong, and he has length. But I would almost, with the deal that Jaylen Brown's on right now, I'd almost like rather have Jaylen Brown. Like he's like, it's so much bang for your buck. He's like getting paid. What's he getting paid? Hold on, So Jaylen Brown's, Tatum's on a max, and I gotta look it up. Sorry. So Tatum's on a max, and then Jaylen Brown's on 4 years, 115. So he's like what? Like, is that $15 million less? I don't know what it is, but I love Jaylen Brown. He could guard.
No, Jaylen Brown's a workhorse.
He could guard at almost every position, and he's like a very smart dude.
And he seems pretty level-headed out there, and he just tries to get the job done.
I think he studied business at Cal. Like he's a very like smart guy.
He's a good clubhouse piece too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so
we'll see him too.
The Lakers, the Lakers are missing. Lakers could potentially be missing. It's every single matchup they play. It's always day to day. LeBron and Anthony Davis are day to day. I don't expect them to miss this game. I do anticipate them playing. And then Boston's outs are Pritchard from Oregon and Langford. So pretty much full health here, aside from Pritchard, who has been giving them some big minutes here thus far in the season.
Yeah.
What do you think of this matchup, though, with the 2.5-point spread on the Lakers' end?
The spread, man. Everything depends on. So if you're assuming that Davis and LeBron are playing,
and I'm going to make the money bet here and say they will play.
Oh, this is a big question. Wait, where's
the
game?
It says they're day to day, but like I said,
where's the game?
The game's at 5:30. It's in 5 minutes.
Game?
It's in Boston.
Oh, they'll win. They'll win. The Lakers win.
Yeah.
The Lakers are. Haven't you seen all of their losses have come at home?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? They're like on a 10-game road game winning streak.
I think they did lose one at. What about against Detroit? Was that home?
Detroit was. Oh, that was on the road. Okay. Well,
they also lost in Philly because they're on an East Coast trip right now.
I'm just saying. They've
Watch
been
out.
hot on the road.
Watch
they come
out.
out different. It's like when they're in LA, they're just chilling, like they're just like laid back, like just chilling in LA, LeBron.
Hollywood.
LeBron. I think if Davis and LeBron play, I think they'll win.
Even with the Celtics at full health, you think that's money? You think that's?
I would take Lakers spread.
Okay, and then Suns, and then last matchup of the day, I think it's playing at 6:30 or 6 o'clock actually, is two teams that have kind of been underperforming to this point: the Suns, Phoenix, and the Dallas Mavericks, who just dropped 2 games to the Utah Jazz handedly.
Did you see Luka's interview?
I saw his frustration, and it's hard to see that with him usually. I mean, he's such a jolly fellow. It's kind of rare to see him upset.
So Luka's the leader of the team, and I think, if I was a Maverick, which I would never be, I don't have that skill, obviously, basketball, he came in, what did he come in? Like, granted, he's young. He could get it off quicker than other people. Didn't he come in 25 pounds overweight?
Yeah.
Like, Luka looks heavy right now.
I think he's lost a tiny bit, but yeah, he definitely did look a little bit larger.
But the thing is, he's young. He's got a high metabolism. He'll lose it fast. I'm just saying, he came in way overweight. Not James Harden.
I was about to say, if we're going to talk about Weight Watchers here,
okay,
you gotta.
Brooklyn, they're chilling in Brooklyn. We're not talking about that right now, though. So the Mavericks, he said they really he doesn't know if his team wants to win or not. That was essentially what he said. Like, the motivation is not there, So.
Yeah.
Man, I would take the Suns. The Suns have been playing. I mean, they had that losing streak. They beat the crap out of the Warriors the other night. That was brutal.
I don't think they match up too well with the Suns at this point in time with the way Kelly Oubre has been playing. If they can figure out how to handedly put him in a rotation that's going to work.
Wait,
'Cause
who'd you say again?
I was just gonna say, I think that, and they were missing Devin Booker that game, so I mean that kind of that
Oh,
speaks
yeah.
dividends to me as a fan watching.
Did you hear what they were saying though with Devin Booker though? They almost look better without Chris Paul or without Devin Booker and just one of them on the court because the broadcaster said during the Warriors Suns game, like D Book is, everyone compares him to Klay Thompson. He's not really Klay Thompson,
He can drive.
He's
more ball dominant.
He's more James Harden than people say.
He's very ball dominant. His handling isn't at James Harden's level. I would argue that.
But Klay really doesn't handle D Book. He can dribble the ball. He's solid at that. So it's and Chris is fine with being paid and chilling in Phoenix, but he wants that damn ball.
He's one of the more ball dominant guards out in the league. I mean, he's your prototype for the point guard position.
And he's not the easiest guy to get along with.
Well, if you look take a brief look at his history, I don't know how things went in New Orleans. That was so long ago, but I know things didn't end great with the Clippers. They were pretty frustrated.
LA and Houston.
Houston,
we have a problem.
I don't think he got along too great with Harden. Granted, not a lot of people do.
I feel like he's got that. Chris Paul's got that Jimmy Butler bravado. That I want a lot out of you, and you better give me your all. Or
definitely. I mean, he's a veteran now. At this point, he's a deep veteran, so he's expecting the most out of his team.
Is Chris Paul 37 now?
I think 36. I want to say 36. If he's 37, good for him.
He's Chris Paul, man. We're gonna lose Chris Paul soon. As a player, not as.
We'll miss him. I'll always remember his battles.
He's 35. He's 35.
Oh, 35. Oh shit. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. He's turning
30.
So he's turning 36 in May, but he's getting up there.
And that's a lot of miles for a point guard too. Those guys put in a lot of miles on their legs.
I just wonder, granted, Chris Paul's the point guard. Do you think he's going to start having kind of those Carmelo issues with, I still want to be the man, but he can't be the man anymore?
He's getting into that year. I feel like once you're 35, 36, that's when you have to start transforming your career into a role veteran. We saw Vince Carter do it. We saw
Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a
Jason
starting
Kidd
point,
do
and
it.
then he went into a three-point specialist.
We saw Jason Kidd do it. I think there's a case that there's a few other players.
And sorry to cut you off, Jason Kidd was able to get his one ring by doing that.
You're right. I mean, he was also on that Nets team a while ago, but they got kind of swamped.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Chris Paul is gonna have that Jason?
I'd like
Kidd
to
vibe?
think he would, but I also know that there's a dog in him that wants to prove people wrong.
Dude, he's a bulldog, man.
Yeah, he is a bulldog.
I don't know if he's gonna. He's getting paid.
The way LeBron's been playing, it's like at his age, it almost defies everything that we've seen, and you got to hand it to him. I think Kobe had some good years at the end. His team around him wasn't great. I'm sure they could have made some deep runs had they had the talent around him, and he wanted to stay with the Lakers. Because Kobe could still score.
The Achilles, he could have kept going for a while. The Achilles, Kobe had. I remember. He basically just said "F you" to D'Antoni, and he said, "I'm gonna play 38 minutes a game," and that's why he tore his Achilles. Remember? But what was he? He was averaging in the third. His percentage wasn't great, but I could have seen Kobe averaging over 20 for another 4 years or something.
I remember watching that game. And just being like, "What the heck happened?" It was such a weird injury to watch. The Achilles injury, in general.
It's like every time an Achilles happens, it's like you got shot. They just go like this. They jerk and they're like, that didn't sound right.
Yeah. Oh, it's
yeah. I've had a teammate in football tear their Achilles, and they have said it's ironic. They all say it. It's like getting shot. It's like you feel like you got shot in your heel. It's just like you're like, damn. But going back to Chris Paul, if Chris Paul is able to take out his ego, in 2 years from now, he signed a 4-year.
That team could be interesting.
Oh, they could be, man. Michael Bridges.
You talked about
the guy that was
DeAndre
tearing up
Ayton.
the Warriors the other night?
They got a lot of
Guard.
people on that team. DeAndre Ayton.
They have a bunch of they're young.
Obviously, Devin Booker is the star that we talked about over the summer.
Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Ayton looks great. I love Michael Bridges, man. Michael Bridges was a steal. Michigan State, man.
Oh, well,
Michael
you know
Bridges
Izzo's
would be-
putting in the work with the Michigan
Or no,
State
what am I
boys.
saying? He went to Villanova.
Oh, you totally got me on a rant right here with
God damn it.
Izzo.
I
Okay,
tripped
so
that out. No, it was Villanova because he played with Eric Pascal.
all right, so
And
if you're taking
they won a
if you're
championship.
looking at this game for what it is, the Suns are plus 1.5, Dallas are minus 1.5. Gonna get in the betting side here. Who do you think's winning this game? The Dallas Mavericks have looked absolutely terrible. The Suns, you like the Suns, right? You said that?
Yeah, I would take the Suns, no doubt. I'd
Okay.
totally take the Suns. And oh man, this is like the first. I mean, it's very early in Luka's career, but this is the first time where he's having to deal with like troubles, you know?
Totally. And
Like-
it's not entirely his fault. He's putting up numbers beyond anyone else's.
Yeah, but he's the leader of the team, so he's got to motivate his guys.
I think defensively they struggle, and then on top of that, when you have streaky shooters like Hardaway who can go 7 of 11 and get 20 points one night, and then go 1 of 10 with 2 points.
To piggyback that, you know what was a huge loss? They let Seth Curry go. Seth Curry is shooting 43% in Philadelphia,
Oh, Seth Curry was
He
a
averaging
monster on that
17 a
second
game.
unit.
and they need 3-point shooting.
Philadelphia
and
looks
I
great,
I
man.
get it. It's because he wasn't big and he wasn't like great at guarding. But Seth is shooting like 43% right now.
Well, if you leave him open, if you can get him a screen, right? It's like the size doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's ironic that they need 3-point shooting right now, and they let Seth go, who's like one of the most solid like role playing like 3-point shooters there is.
Oh, I know. So, hey, let's go around the sports world really quick, and then we'll close our thoughts. So, I know you've been doing some research on the MLB. I've kind of been AFK from that, MIA. What's going on around the league that's shaking up?
Well, so in our show, guys, we follow a lot of the NL West, and we'll follow the AL West. And it's good because the big news yesterday was that Nolan Arenado got traded, which was pretty freaking nuts. So at 29 years old, Nolan Arenado is going to his second team, the Cardinals. So the deal was, it's like they were just moving his contract. They're giving St. Louis $50 million to help pay off his contract and Nolan Arenado, and the only thing that they're getting in return, I don't know the names of the prospects, but according to MLB.com, it's like just a bunch of mid-level guys. It's not like they're top-tier prospects, so it's like, what are you kind of doing, Rockies? You know, it's like, I'm thinking it's a total teardown now. I mean, you can't pay Trevor Story if you're not gonna keep Nolan Arenado around. Like, why the hell do you keep Trevor Story? But they do need to do a better job of getting picks or something for him because, I mean, get picks or some high prospects. Like, yeah, the Rockies are just a mess.
And Arenado has absolutely been raking since he's come into the league, totaling a ton of home runs. He's pretty much getting 40 home runs a year. 130 RBIs seems to be where he likes to hang around, 130, 133. So that's a big improvement to the St. Louis Cardinals.
He's probably...
He's already
I
got
think-
235 home runs in 8 seasons. That's
Yeah, no, but I'm thinking what third baseman I would have over him. I think Manny Machado is the only one I think he's the best third baseman in baseball.
yeah. Manny Machado, you can make an argument. I don't know how. I mean, that was 2 in the West too. There.
Yeah, they're like in their own tier.
I don't think Turner is anywhere near them. I would put Turner in the top 5.
No, I think Nolan Arenado and Manny Machado. It's so shocking to me. I mean, I guess they don't want to pay him, but man, Nolan Arenado's got a lot of good years left. He's only 29 years old.
I mean, maybe they see something we don't. I hear a lot of murmurings from Rockies Nation that they absolutely despise their. I think it's their owner, their general manager. A lot of times,
Yeah.
I mean, that poor franchise, man.
Oh man, they've had such good hitting over the years that just the pitching has not been able to help their hitting get over the hump.
No.
It's Nolan Arenado in his entire career as a Rocky, he only has one playoff win, and that's not a series win. He's won one game, and then they lost all the other games in that 1 year in the NLDS. So he's only gone to the playoffs once. We'll see. I like this for the Cardinals. They've been struggling the last 4 years. I like it a lot. I'm shocked at what they gave. It's just, man, the Rockies. It's funny how when you're, the higher ups are dysfunctional, how dysfunctional the team becomes.
Yeah, and we see that a lot around the league and in all different kinds of sports. But you're right,
and
man.
The Rockies, man, they have great fans. I've been to a Rocky game. I've been to Coors Field. It's a good time.
You've been to Coors?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always hear good things about it.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Altitude drinking. Good times.
Oh yeah.
So that's it for that was it for baseball though. That was about it. So the Rockies are. Yeah, they might get rid of Trevor Story. That's been the speculation because why keep Trevor Story if they're not going to pay Nolan Arenado? It's a teardown. So, and then so baseball. That's about it for baseball. To move on to, I just want to make hockey. So the Golden Knights, the Vegas Golden Knights, they're top of the West right now. They're kind of dealing with a bunch of COVID stuff, so their little baseball series with the Sharks got canceled. I mean, they would have crushed the Sharks, but
Yeah.
What do you think of the little baseball series in hockey?
I kind of like the format. I think. I mean, just from watching hockey a lot more this year, it's fun to see how teams match up on a back-to-back. Me and Dean, by the way, are probably not going to be the ones speaking too much hockey on here. We got a couple other guys that are going to be doing it for the most part. Expert guys.
Our buddy David, he's really, 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 he knows his hockey stuff. So we're probably going to have him. We're more the other three.
Other three.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the format. I feel like it's something I can get behind. I even liked it in basketball too. I don't really mind it.
So a lot of basketball, but in basketball they're kind of upset about it. I've heard a lot of interviews with the hockey guys, and they really like it because they don't like the traveling. They like to just stay put. But the basketball players, it's like, because the losing team, even though they lost, the adjustments that they're able to make the next night is pretty. Like it definitely changes the wins and losses. Like it's substantial being able to play the same team because you're only dealing with freaking 10 guys.
I think it puts the top dogs in check, right? I think teams like the Lakers, teams like the top of the upper echelon, it puts them in check because on a regular season without COVID and all these strange rules, they're able to blow by teams with their sheer power and their sheer dominance. They don't really need a game plan that much because they're just that much better than the other team.
Yeah.
But then you get in a double game series, then the other guys can prepare and they can do everything they can really to put themselves in a position to compete.
No, it's a good point. It does. It's more equality. It gives the less talented team a better chance of taking the next one.
Completely.
It really does. I agree with that. Yeah.
And I think teams like the Lakers, they're not getting as many wins. I mean, they're winning a ton, but they're not getting they should probably have only like 2 or 3 losses right now. I don't know how many they have. They probably have like 5 or 6.
I think they're at 5.
Okay.
Maybe 6. I think it's 5.
They have more losses than they should have, and I would attribute it to playing teams on back-to-backs. And just having a wonky schedule in general. These guys are used to what they've been used to.
Yeah. They're all about traveling all the time, and now it's like all.
The hockey guys are a little bit more laid back, I would say.
Oh yeah, no, hockey guys are great. I love the hockey vibes. They're great. Those guys, they don't give a crap. So
they're just like getting out there and just.
Basketball players are way more prima donna. Yeah, no doubt. no doubt. Yeah. Do you think by the way, on the lack of fans, just saying for basketball, to jump back to basketball quickly, do you think this insane jump in league 3-point percentage is due to the lack of fans?
Can you comment on like what the percentage is from this year to last and the year before?
I know they've been talking about it. TNT, CBS, NBA.com. They've all been. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's like substantial. The league 3-point percentage is gone up.
It has to be. I mean, people are taking more shots. The game's evolving into that, but I feel like the crowd atmosphere.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the percentage, not the attempts.
No, I know. Okay, well, you're right. You're right.
Everyone's shooting a better percentage.
I guess you'd have to attribute it to that, right? I mean, what else could it be?
I think so.
I think if someone's yelling at you, there might be a chance you might fucking mess up.
yeah, no doubt. 3-point percentage.
Man, fans change everything. I'm really looking forward to seeing how, once this whole COVID thing's over, how the league transitions back into having fans and how that affects play. I wonder, like, what teams are going to spike from it and what teams are going to take a back seat.
Not to hate on guys like, Duncan Robinson and the young, Heat
Harrow.
players, but I am right now. Obviously when you start off with saying that, you're going to start hating on them. It's going to sound like a hate.
Let the hate run.
It is what it is. I'm a Steph Curry guy, so I hate hearing Duncan Robinson crap. I mean, he shot over 40% 2 years. It's good. I just think that lack of fans is huge with 3-point percentage. Like, more so than any other, like, statistic in basketball. Like, I think when the fans are back, it's going to be a rude awakening for some players. But, Duncan there's still great shooters. Harrow, Duncan Robinson, they're still going to shoot great. I think their percentages are going to go down. Unlike the vets that have already dealt with, 3-point, fans in the stands and 3-pointers, meaningful 3-pointers when a ton of fans are screaming at you. And, I don't know. I read Twitter too much. It gets to me sometimes.
They're back to their AAU vibes, They're not in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I think the bubble and the 3-point shooting in the bubble playoffs was just like, it was like, oh, it's because there's no fans.
That was just happening to entertain us.
I was just watching that, and I was like, he wouldn't have made that shot if there were fans there.
I would argue, and I make this hot take, I think the Bucks would have been a better team. I don't think they would have lost to the Heat had there been fans because, well, their home field advantage is like nuts. People in Milwaukee go crazy.
100%.
I just think they would have run them off the floor. I think Giannis is going to dunk all over them, and they're up like 20 to 30 at half. And the whole fan experience changes everything. It changes how your emotions are in the game, how you're feeling, how the other team's feeling. The Bucks got screwed by that.
The Bucks got screwed, like more so than any. They fought so hard to get that number 1 seed, and it meant nothing. It meant nothing.
Well, if you think about it, right, like they're not a great 3-point shooting team, and when it came down to it, and they needed to be in it, basically the bubble is like 3-point land. That's what it is.
Oh, total. That's why I couldn't watch it that much. It's like these guys would not be shooting this percentage if there were fans there. Shooting. There's a difference between in-game threes and those. Like, the Heat wouldn't have been shooting that in the playoffs, that 3-point percentage. Like, I don't believe that crap that people say that. It's like, no, when you're shooting a 3-pointer in the playoffs, how meaningful that is, and you're having fans scream, like, way more than a regular season game. I don't want to hear that, like, oh, yeah, he would just do it if there were fans there. Like, I don't believe that at all.
I do think the Lakers were the more talented team, and I do think that they probably would have ended up winning if there had been fans.
Oh, then the Bucks? Yeah.
But I don't think I think we agree the Heat probably aren't in the NBA Finals.
No, yeah. The Bucks, see the problem, as you alluded to, the Bucks are a beat you up type team. Get in the fucking paint, beat the crap out of you. Their fans are screaming at you. And then turnovers, and they get out in transition, and, they don't shoot transition threes because they give up Malcolm Brogdon. But they'll dunk on your ass, right? So I think, man, losing home court,
Because the dunk really livens up the crowd, man. It's like if you're dunking in the bubble, it's like, who are you really pumping up? Like, you're not getting the
I
same
think it
effect.
helped. It hurt the bully teams like the Bucks, the physical teams. That's why and it helped the 3-point. That's why I got to give the Lakers credit, because the Lakers are more of a bully team, but it didn't.
They still
the
got it
Heat
done.
luck ran out against them. They were totally outmatched.
Yeah. And that comes with experience and just having more talent.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else we really want to talk about?
Football.
Football. We could brush through the football quickly here, and then I'll probably go watch some basketball myself.
Oh yeah, what time? Oh yeah. It's getting to be that time. So
we could talk quarterback moves. We could talk a little Super Bowl, not too much. We'll probably have another Super Bowl episode this week.
Yeah. Tomboy.
We'll talk about our favorite bets and what we think is going to happen.
Very native. Thomas.
We're definitely pulling for the Bucks here.
Edward Brady. What's his name?
Thomas Patrick. Edward Brady.
Oh.
All right, so Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and who else was it? Who else is on the block?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so those three guys. I throw Aaron Rodgers in there just because I'm from speculation. I don't know if he's actually going to leave.
Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers stuff, I mean, a lot has to happen for Aaron Rodgers to be on it.
But Deshaun, man.
What?
And we've done a lot of talking, obviously, off podcasts about Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun, we'll see where he ends up deciding to go. I know he prefers to play for an African-American coach. So that could definitely change things if he follows through with that. Would we say he has a better option to win somewhere else with maybe, I don't know, Shanahan, perhaps? Is that a little biased? Yeah, probably. What do you think? Where should Deshaun...
Or the Rams.
I think when I see Saints Nation commenting on all these different things, because I read all the polls and everyone's like, oh, where should this guy go? Where should that guy go?
Saints are good.
The Saints, I don't know if you've looked into their salary cap issues next year, but I think they're going to be like $100 million or like $90 million like behind on the payments, and they're not going to be able to afford that kind of quarterback.
The Saints are an old team, They have a lot of vets on their team. They
don't have the money to pay for these guys.
Problems, and the Niners are having, but the thing though is like they're all having salary cap issues. You're gonna do everything in your power to move mountains to get Deshaun Watson. If you want him, which over half of the league does. But I don't know. I get sick of hearing about the Jets, because I don't know why he'd want to go to the Jets with that roster. I don't know.
And if he goes to the Jets, then I think we should welcome Sam Darnold.
Sorry, what?
If he goes to the Jets, then here comes Sam Darnold. He's probably going to hit the market.
I'll say it here first. I mean, no, I didn't say it. I think Mark Sanchez said it. If the Jets move on from Sam Darnold, the Niners... Shanahan loves Sam Darnold. He loves him. He's loved him since his USC days. He loves that guy. So it's very interesting how wherever Deshaun goes, unless it's like, the Colts or the Saints, like another quarterback is going to be on the move, right?
Yeah.
Like okay, let's just talk about the West teams. Okay, so I'll just give you three options. So, who do you think, like just these three, who do you think's most likely to move on from their quarterback and get Deshaun? Like, what the likelihood? The Rams and Carr, the Niners and Garoppolo.
The Rams and Goff, and then Raiders and
the
Carr.
Rams and Goff.
So Rams and Goff, Niners and Garoppolo, and Raiders and Carr.
What would be the most likely in your eyes?
I could see the Rams. I think they have what I mean, They have a pretty talented roster. I would say the Niners too, except I don't know how much the Niners want to move on from draft picks for particular players when they have a competent quarterback like Jimmy G, who really just has a struggle to stay on the field. Other than that, when he's on the field, the Niners' record is obviously speaks for itself. The Rams have obvious issues because Jared Goff can play and can stay on the field, and he's come short of a Super Bowl, as did Jimmy G. I just think it's obvious to me. And Derek Carr, like I feel like that's just all hype. He's going to be a Raider for life. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. A lot to unpack there. I like your thinking. I do think the Raiders is just hype. I don't know. Deshaun, I can't see Deshaun and Gruden getting along. I don't know. Man, Chucky's wild. He's wild.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. That's just a lot. That's how I would describe that.
That's
I don't
all
know
you
how
need
that
to
would
say.
work. I don't think Deshaun, they're on the same wavelength. I just don't. But I do. The difference between you said it. You said the injuries, but also the Rams still owe Goff a lot of money.
Yeah.
The Niners could just cut bait from Garoppolo. They don't owe him anything. It's like over $10 million on the cap if they move on from Goff. Garoppolo, I think it's $2 million. It's like nothing. I do think how the Rams have, just from their general manager and the hierarchy, the owners. I do see the Rams are big game hunters. I see the Rams like the freaking Yankees sometimes. They'll just go after guys. I mean,
We saw it with
Jalen Ramsey.
I was about to say Jamal Adams.
Like, they just, said, screw it. We're getting I love it, though. I totally respect the Rams for that. They're like, we're going to go get the best corner in the league, and we don't care how much it costs us.
Well, they've been so close to a Super Bowl championship in 2018. So they know how hard it is to, get there, and I think they know that they're just a quarterback away. Their defense is obviously not going to go anywhere with the talent they have on the line, and then you pair that with a top-level corner. All they need is a quarterback. That's all they need.
Do you remember at the time, though? But you do have to say this. The offensive line hasn't been great. And at the time when they got Jalen Ramsey, they had I can't think of the other guys they had back there. They had a solid secondary.
No, their defense was probably one of the best defenses Tom's faced in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's speaking a lot.
I'm just saying the Rams O-line sucks.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to let Goff off the hook, because Goff, man, he really shows up small in big games. Like, I love Goff. Goff's a guy.
Poor decision making.
Yeah, Goff's from Marin. He's got a solid arm. He's got a bigger arm than Garoppolo. His
parents are in the firefighting or something like that. They're in that field. My dad's friends know them. I think they're Millbrae firefighter or something like that.
Who, Goff?
Goff's parent.
Goff's from Marin.
Yeah, I know, but I think one of his parents worked Millbrae firefighting. I think.
Oh.
I think that's
maybe.
what my dad said, if I remember.
Maybe. I know. I think Goff's father played in the NFL. I know that.
Well, maybe it was his uncle. Maybe it was his uncle or something.
His uncle, probably, yeah. Anyways, the tangent. I agree with you. I think the Niners' upper management, I don't see them pulling the trigger.
They're too scared. They're not. They're too scared. They almost won a Super Bowl, and they were very close. And I think, as we've seen with the last two times they've been to the Super Bowl now with this management, unfortunately, they can get you to a Super Bowl and they can get you damn close. But when it comes to just being that quarterback, that special play away, they're just too afraid of. What's the word? Of commitment.
You know what's crazy to think? Let's take us back to the Bosa Kyler draft. Do you remember the Niners got Jimmy Garoppolo right before that draft, right? Or wait, was that the season before?
Which year are we talking?
What was it? 2017.
Yeah, they got him in 2017.
Or 2018. That was the 2018 draft. Yeah, that was the 2018 draft. They got Jimmy in 2017. Anyways, do you think the Niners would go back and trade for Kyler Murray? I mean, you think they would give up like a few first rounders?
I mean, personally, I think I would.
I just, more and more we're seeing. I mean, we've always seen this, but
Kyler needs another receiver.
we always say, if you have a quarterback, and this is for teams with Super Bowl aspirations. This isn't the Vikings who are cool with making the playoffs every year. That they don't give a crap about winning, right? If you have Super Bowl aspirations, if you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing.
Bottom line.
With Mahomes in this league,
We saw it with Tom Brady and Manning.
Aaron, you're not gonna. I would rather. I mean, it's probably just as frustrating, but being like a Packers fan and you're missing some other things, but you have the quarterback. I think the quarterback is everything.
And I mean, the last time we saw a team without a franchise quarterback win a Super Bowl might have been 2002 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because can you tell me the quarterback on that team? No, you can't, because he was not a franchise quarterback.
They didn't win.
No, they won. They beat the Raiders. But what I'm trying to say is that's probably the last.
I would have said Trent Dilfer 2000.
Okay, yeah, that's another example. Okay, all right. You know what? Actually, the last time a non-franchise quarterback won would be 2013. That'd be Joe Flacco. But then the quarterback on the 0-2 Tampa Bay team that won the Super Bowl was Brad Johnson.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? You don't even know who he is. Other than that,
that's some 19 years ago.
Other than that, the last 20 years, it's your Big Bens, it's your Aaron Rodgers, your Drew Brees, your Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, and then maybe two other guys. That's it.
You gotta have a good quarterback. You gotta.
20 years has been divvied up into.
Okay, I beg to differ. Peyton Manning was terrible that year. They won in spite of Peyton.
Okay,
Manning.
but you could give him 07.
No. I mean the one with the Broncos.
Yeah, but I'm giving him 07. He won, right?
No. I'm just saying. You said the most recent. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. But people aren't going to look into that.
Was throwing. You see the ball going like.
Yeah, they should have gotten one before with him though. They got smoked by the Seahawks.
Like if Von Miller wasn't tearing crap up in the backfield, like they would have totally lost.
All right, well, this is an argument for another day. I'm going to close things out here and say if you guys want to watch us again, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter and also on Instagram, and then subscribe. We'll try and keep our podcasts on the weekly basis. Any closing statements? I know that was kind of abrupt. We'll get better at it as we go.
Yeah. We talked enough. We went on a tangent. I think Deshaun Watson most likely is going to go to the Jets. That's what I'm going to say. The draft picks, he likes vacationing there. I'm going to leave it at that. I do think the Rams on the West Coast are the most reliable, most have the highest odds to get him. Yeah, it was good. We hit all the sports. Pretty proud of us. So. And
as we go forward, we'll probably get more experts in there. We'll probably have people that know more about each sport.
We have some buddies that are really, really into minor league baseball and all in the hockey.
Betting.
So
Arizona
sports, come and beyond.
Different stuff. We got all the different spots covered. Well, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in this week, and we look forward to your guys' future viewing.
Thanks.